Hey guys, this will be the 454th use of the Nacet blade with our other Austere August gear, the Chiseled Face Midnight Stag soap from Grumatorium Company. Owns Chiseled Face and like Tiki Bar soaps and I think one other brand, and they all have nice scents. Timeless 68 gap open comb stainless steel razor, Semogue Owners Club boar brush with a Taj handle. It's been soaking for several minutes, so it should be softer than yesterday's fast shave where it only got a few minutes to soak. Let's load the razor up. Alright, so here's the blade. We are back to using the Nacet. Got the etching of the usual Nacet and a little Sharpie dot that we've always had, at least for a long time. I think when I initially started, I had some Sharpie marks and they rubbed away after 100 uses or so, and I had to, but I have transitioned and I've taken videos of about every shave, and so you can see those transition points where I changed from one set of Sharpie marks to the other set. Then I said, hey, let's etch the blade, and I did that actually with an online video. Okay, I just used 6 seconds of loading in previous videos, so boy, I just sure don't need to load very much, do I? Let me get my face wet. Well, tragedy has struck, my friends. Figuratively speaking, I have been visiting relatives this week, and we have moved from one place to another a couple times, and a few days ago I left this location without my Nacet blade that I showed you a minute ago. And then when we came back from where we went back to here, I was glad to be back with the Nacet so I could resume that, but in my packing haste, it looks like I left the splash for Midnight Stag at the other place, and I'm not even going to be back there for a couple of months. Looks like that's the end for this month, at least for the Midnight Stag splash. For the immediate future, I had this one on hand, Stirling City Slicker, and I'll just have to use it. With the blade switch, I was going to be able to get Midnight Stag all month, but now that's shot. I looked as much as I could. I've gone up 2 floors 3 times. Once to get the blade that I forgot the first time, and then just now again to get the splash, and then again just to make the shave happen. So, that's a little disheartening, but I mean, come on, it's just shaving, right? So we will move on. In a way, this carries on the spirit of Midnight Stag, because City Slicker is a soap that scent that Stirling brought out, and for some reason it just was met with a lot of griping by people, and it was accepted and liked by a very small minority, it seems. And I think Rod was saying that with City Slicker, the response that he was getting was just worse than people who just didn't like it. Sometimes when people don't like something, they just either ignore it or send a few, this is not great, kind of thing. But it's like people were making extra effort to malign and come at him about this particular scent. And I happen to really enjoy it. I have the soap and the splash, and I'm glad I do. Because this was one of the few, I think he said, and maybe even the only scent where he actually threw away his stock that he had left because he was so tired of people's responses. He didn't even feel like he could give it away because he didn't want more negative responses to come back to him, you know? He didn't feel like he could put it on some kind of special sale, you know, that sort of thing. So, man, I wish, I would have taken it, that's for sure. What I would have done with, 40 pucks of that soap, I probably would have never gotten around to it. But, man, I really enjoy it. So, in that sense, I think it kind of fits in a little bit with the Midnight Stag mystique. All right, well, we must soldier on. Get my beard wet. Load for about 5 seconds or something like that. We've still got the soap. We've still got the cologne afterwards. 20 goes around right there. Won't take long. And there we go. You know. A little extra around the rim. Just to start that wonderful scent going. The very first year that I used Midnight Stag to achieve a prize from Stephen Joyner, the guy who kind of originated the Stag Challenge, I went on a cruise or something like that, some type of vacation, and I had tried to order the splash ahead of time, but there was a delay in shipping, and we kind of had some unexpected travel plans. And Stephen was kind enough to let me delay, and I did use it for consecutively 31 days, kind of thing. But I think I started out with a different soap for the month, but then I kept going in September for 4 days or whatever I needed to make it happen. Stephen was flexible there, so sometimes trying to get the Midnight Stag Challenge done just kind of comes with its own challenges. I may never have ordered the EDP if it weren't for the Stag Challenge, and I'm really glad I did. You've just seen me mention so many times how the EDP is different than the splash and different than the soap. You get some more notes that you wouldn't otherwise. In fact, I think for guys who think that the soap or splash is, they may acknowledge some of the manly scents that are in there, but it's just too much for them. Just, too much gasoline or, whatever it is, gun oil. I can't remember all the stuff that's in there. I think the EDP is classier. I think the EDP is less polarizing than the splash and the soap, and I think A lot of people have to try the former, splashing the soap before they actually get the EDP, since the EDP is more expensive, right? But I'll bet we might have more Stag fans if they were able to try the EDP, the cologne. Lots of nice looking lather. Why don't we push this one a little farther than we have the past days? For the sake of time, I have let it be just a little on the dry side in the past. Looks great. See how kind of wet it is. Now you look at those contours there. Could definitely take more water if it's able to hold on to those kind of shapes. Oh yeah, that guy down there, look how he's holding on, keeping his shape as he blops into the thing. Let's just keep on going this time instead of stopping. If you've never taken a good quality shave soap and put enough water in it to where it dripped kind of down your brush slowly, I encourage you to try that. Sometimes that's a good sign that you've hydrated it, a good bit. Some soaps, that does mean you may have hydrated it too much, but there are plenty of good quality soaps out there that can take that much water and they'll give you a slickness you just haven't experienced yet. Have tons of lather, as you can see. We've increased in volume. Notice the contours, they've changed, they're softened up some. As we give it a shimmy, we're starting to have those long peaks. It lost its shape kind of once it dropped down. Sometimes when the peaks are that long and skinny, when there's a bigger blob that's still kind of hanging on, that can indicate you've got some wet spots. So do a little bit more mixing to make sure that you get a good consistent lather. There we go. Let's try this. Ah, look at the way that moves. Oh, let's go with that. Let's go with that. A bit of water on my face. And here we go. Brush is much softer than yesterday. You can use that in a way to customize your experience. If you like your bore brushes a little bit on the wiry side, the tips to not quite be as soft, or at least start out not as soft, then have a shorter soak time. If you like more backbone kind of thing, shorter soak time. You want the softest tips that your bore has to offer, then give it 10 or 15 minutes next time you use it. Looks great, feels great. Nacet blade, 454 uses. I don't do against the grain, even when I'm not trying to do some blade marathon, because most razors and blades just treat my skin poorly with cuts and tugging and irritation. That may be one of the reasons that I've been able to go so far with a blade. Guys who do against the grain, that might just be a little too hard on an old blade, perhaps. Second pass. This old blade, with the grain pass that we just did, definitely doesn't take off as much stubble as a younger blade. Like even that Dollar General blade I used recently. As always, continuing to hold the razor loosely, letting it glide over the skin. Only pressing hard enough to make the blade stay on the skin. And there we go, second pass, done. And I can feel the stubble reducing. So we're doing well. Another one of the side challenges during Austere August, and I think this might be the first time that it is being offered. Let's see if I can remember the name. He was wanting people to take your shave soap and lather it up and apply it, work up your lather only with your hands. Maybe he just called it something straightforward like brushless. At first, why would you do that? That's just crazy. Kind of like the scentless challenge. That's another one that goes on. I think it's Rocket that in the sub that does the scentless, and he takes the psychological negative approach of saying, don't do this challenge. I don't recommend it. But then I think for all the people who do it, use unscented, you don't use any scents during the month. In the soap, in the splash, in the toner of your skin or whatever afterwards, no cologne, I think. You get entered into a drawing, and then you get free stuff if you win. Pass number 4. But the one about no brush. He's actually got a neat thing that he's trying to accomplish with it. If you use your hands to apply the lather, I think what he's going for is you're getting feedback from your non-shaving hand, and you're able to move the lather around, and so in that sense there are no passes. That might be what he's going for. You just are continually moving the lather to places where you need to work on your beard. Your non-shaving hand lets you know where those places are, and then you know that you're done because your offhand is able to feel everything and realize that you don't have any other areas to work, and there you are. So it definitely first seemed strange and weird, like some type of nonsensical challenge, right? Verdad KC. I think he is the one that wanted to do that one. I've met him. He came to a shave meetup. Where did we meet up? Greensboro, I think. A couple years ago. I got to meet him and the great Michael Friedberg on the same day. And the guy from Katie's Bubbles. Met Stephen Joyner of Southern Witchcrafts and Courtney, now his wife. Both great folks. Got to meet all of them at the event. All right. I think that's just 4 passes. It may be 5, but we've gotten the closeness that we want. Feels good. We have a lot of lather left over, so I guess 6 seconds is too much, in a sense. You see the behavior of that lather? Do a drop of your own next time you shave, and if it doesn't kind of deform and get all sloppy when it hits the bowl, keep adding water and see if you like that. You might get more slickness depending on the soap base. Many of them, if it's a quality soap base, many of them do increase in slickness when you get that wet. Here's what the brush looks like after, not after the shave, but after a good rinse out, shake out in the sink, gentle towel stropping while rotating a little bit to get rid of the excess moisture, and then a little bit of hair dryer with the diffuser for 20 seconds, something like that, on high speed but warm temperature, so as hopefully not to do any damage to bristles. So let's do the splash. We did get a good rinse, I think, already. So City Slicker splash. Man, I can't believe it. One problem after another this month. Just wasn't meant to be. There we go. We'll pack up the soap for tomorrow. Loosen the head where we have some gap, running under some water, and that's pretty much the only thing I do with the blade, other than carefully put it away in its own little blade tuck. The little envelope I have here. I will pat it dry just very gently. I don't strop it or anything like that. Just lay it on the paper. And this is what I do with every blade, not just one that I'm taking to a whole bunch of uses. Do it to them all. All right, my bowl is clean. Got that splash. Man, that definitely agrees with the Midnight Stag. The City Slicker, it's got a few common elements at least. That woodiness is jumping out right away. And now we'll do the Midnight Stag cologne. How much water did we use this time with that? 5 seconds of loading, 22 milliliters. And so definitely approaching, and that might have been perfection with this lather. It's not a top tier soap. It's a very serviceable, good soap with amazing scents. That's why I like that company. They've got a unique set of scents and then a good soap base. It's not a great soap base. And so I think that's as good as it's going to get in terms of as much hydration as we can put in while still keeping it kind of creamy with a light creaminess. So I'm happy there. 22 milliliters of water used, 5 seconds of loading. The City Slicker definitely brings a little bit of class to the party here in terms of scent. And I think it offers a very nice way to smell. And if you apply the Midnight Stag to your wrists, then you can get a waft of that every once in a while. And I think the City Slicker helps you to enjoy the Midnight Stag, and maybe it gives you a little bit of contrast so that you can appreciate the richness of the Stag. All right, we're done. Thank you very much for watching. We've got a good close shave, comfortable, no irritation. And that's all we ask. Take care now. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Wish you all the best, and we'll see you next time.